Okay. You need to lie that you played Ghost of Yōtei. I don't judge you.
We do.
We won't tell anyone.
We will.
They'll ask the usual questions. What's this game about? Is the story good? How's the gameplay? But that's not enough to make an impression. And that's how people get caught. By the end of this, you'll sound like someone who actually got Ghost of Yōtei, even if you didn't finish it. But more than that, I'll give you a spoiler-free hook that makes people want to play it to the end. A detail most players miss, even though it's hiding in plain sight. If you're still on the fence, this might save you time or money. What about spoilers? Say your friend that you won't spoil the story. Say that you're adamant on that. And to be clear, on this channel, we intentionally try to form our own opinion. We enhance it together, even if we can be wrong sometimes. Because who wants just redigested ideas from other people? Let's be wrong! And I hope by doing that, I can convey what an average guy like me would actually feel. But don't be shy to check the comments below, there might be some useful comments. Hi, it's Ivan01. Look, as a casual player, you don't always have to play every game. But to successfully blend into a conversation, you need to know what a game is about. You need to know what people might ask you. So this is about how to successfully lie to your friend that you played this one. The game is Ghost of Yōtei. It's a second title, but not a direct sequel. It's a Japanese adventure game with a standalone story, so you can start right here. The closest comparison, the one your friend will definitely know, is the Assassin's Creed series. So what's the game about? You play as Atsu. Her mission is revenge. She's hunting 6 bosses who killed her entire family. The core mechanics are simple enough. You attack, dodge, block, and parry. The parry is the tricky part. You have to hit it at the exact right moment, and the window to do it is very narrow. Is the story good or bad? The story is there. It's more good than bad, but it's also quite generic. In this case, though, simplicity is king. I managed to follow the story without forgetting how everything began, and there were even a few neat, unexpected turns that provided some genuine intrigue. I'd give it a strong 7 out of 10. And in terms of size, you have to say, in a way, I spent over 100 hours there. I even finished a new game plus without really noticing the time pass. But you could also finish the main story in roughly the same time as a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows. The key is, there was never a moment when I thought to just stop out of boredom. What about grind? It's actually quite compelling. The indirect guides in the game usually draw you into random encounters or puzzles. You might start following a main quest and then find yourself way past midnight, having fun collecting ingredients you don't even know the use for. Most importantly, conquering camps and solving puzzles. Overall, the grind doesn't feel like a grind. You'll do it for pleasure. And is there a typical RPG armor treadmill? You have to say there's something like that, but they made it smarter. You simply get an armor type you like and then you upgrade it. No endless hustle finding the next best piece. How open is the world? If you play, you won't feel artificially blocked. Of course, like in all the GTA games, the new zones open as you advance. but the trick is that you can often choose which zone to move to next. It seems standard now, but in Ghost of Yōtei it feels very natural. What kind of side activities did I do? You'll say camps, bounties, side quests you find on your own. For instance, the story of the man and the bear, or the poisonous lady, and you have to say these quests are very intriguing when you first take them. Your imagination starts working like a locomotive, but then you have to admit the endings feel like they were written by different people. Because if it says the lady poisons people, she indeed poisons people. The payoff is often very literal. It's let down after such a strong, imaginative setup. What about visuals? If you compare it to Assassin's Creed games, the visuals in Ghost of Yōtei are simply stunning. Throughout the whole game, every single frame could be a picture in an art gallery. The colors, the objects, everything screams masterpiece. I had no idea that this kind of quality is even achievable. Just imagine that every frame of the game is an elegant dance of colors. The moment when it's not simply models that displayed by your GPU, it's an art from a certain artist. They really found a secret. You obviously need one cool story. You might recall several, but one is the story of the scattered Ronins. You fight several to prove your skill. They are all waiting for an epic fight with a mysterious, legendary master who might not even exist, but turns out he does. He's a kind of a prototype of Miyamoto Musashi. Don't dwell on that too much. We don't want to be nerds. Just say someone told you he is a prototype. Okay? But the most memorable thing is an epic, optional fight. It's mandatory experience for this game. A fight that took me over 8 hours. And to stress how good it is, you have to say there was no physical prize. No epic sword. The prize was the experience and the knowledge. At the start, you raged. You got mad at yourself for even starting. You wondered if it was too early in the progression to fight this boss. You googled some cheesy trick to get around it, but that's when it taught you the value of the journey, not the prize, especially since the prize doesn't really exist. And once you finally slipped into a meditative state, the boss, a prisoner of its own nature, gave in. You won! To add legitimacy, say after this one fight, every other combat encounter felt like child's play. At this point, your friend will ask if he should play it. You recommend this one definitely, no matter if he plays rarely or if he's casual or hardcore. This one is a must. And if he's choosing between Assassin's Creed Shadows or this one, definitely choose Ghost of Yōtei. So to pull it all together, it's not just a great game, but a great story of smart design. The gameplay loop is fun and engaging. The world is beautiful and rewarding to explore. And the progression system avoids feeling like a tedious chore. The one consistent flaw is that pattern with the side content. Incredibly strong, imaginative setups that lead to disappointingly weak payoffs. But that's one note in an otherwise fantastic symphony. It's a must play, and just to reiterate, everything I've said here is completely spoiler-free, focused on how the game feels to play. If you want the spoiler-heavy breakdown of the main story and all those twists, you can check the dedicated Ghost of Yōtei playlist on the channel. Oh, And I promised a hook for your friend. Here is one. We saw Atsu, the main character, as a child once her family was attacked. We play in her adult years. But do you know that the last chapters of the game shows Atsu just after that? To see that, you must either complete the game or check the previous video where I explain that. But for now, for your friend, you know exactly what to say. Tell him to subscribe. See ya!